Dreaming of studying abroad? Wondering how to balance part-time work, full-time studies, and still find time to eat?
Actually, the way this decision was formed was quite interesting journey itself as well.
That's where I felt the need to do my master's.
It was very, very hard. 6 months, big struggle, frustration.
Maybe you are an international student who just arrived and feeling the pinch of accommodation and the cultural changes. Or perhaps you are on the brink of finishing your studies and wondering how to take that next big step.
People need to trust you to give you joy.
Yeah. That's the best thing you can do, because if you vibe like that, you get the right people.
Do whatever you do, but don't mess it up.
When you are moving to a new country, the whole world is changing.
In today's episode, we sit down with Ilgar and Bikramjit, two current students, and Harsh, one of the former students who made it into a successful career. So, whether you are considering to studying abroad or simply curious about the international student experience, tune in. This is nlsa Podcast. Today's episode is mainly we're going to discuss about the experience of an international student, about their journey, about their work experience, the job hunt they had, and everything about having a life abroad. We will start with Ilgar.
Yeah, thank you very much. So I'm Ilgar. I came up from Azerbaijan just last April, and I came up to do my master's here, and I really enjoy this journey so far. So it hasn't been long, but so far it's enjoyable.
Awesome. Thank you. I'll pass it to you.
Hi, I'm Bikramjit, and I'm from Indian subcontinent in the Southern Asia. So I've been here for 3 months now, and I think I'm enjoying the new drive that I'm having in this country, and looking forward for some more, amazing progress and growth here. So I'm an international student here, doing my master's.
All good. We'll move it to Harsh then. We can.
Hi, everyone. My name is Harsh, and I'm from India, basically from Punjab. It's been 6 years that I've made New Zealand my home. I came in October 2018, the 18th, and I remember it was Tuesday, not one of my very favorite days of the week. So a completely new culture, had a bit of cultural shock, but I really, really enjoyed it. So it's been 6 years. I secured my residency. It's a blessing to be part of New Zealand today. I started as a student. I studied business, then second career change, studied healthcare, and right now I'm teaching healthcare. So it's kind of a dream come true, because I was very passionate about teaching and training. I never knew I manifested it so much that I'm finally doing it. So the journey is being very, very exciting for me. I was nervous at the time, but I love it, and I'm loving it.
So I was also an international student here. So then my journey pivoted into an IT career. Right now, I'm currently working as an DevOps engineer. So I did my management here, and I have a degree in engineering back in my home country. So it all played a role in developing a career here. So yeah, that's pretty much from my side. And before we start anything else, we should all have our own experience on how the journey looked like, right? So from the moment you decided to be an international student, and you had a plans paved for you for the future. So I'd like to know what was your challenges, like from student perspective, and then the olden days, like in 2016 or 2017, it was different. And whatsoever happening now, it's entirely different. So there is so much experience we can share. Maybe hopefully some viewers can make use of that as well. So let's start with your decision, and then your planning, how it was, and the experience that the moment you landed in New Zealand.
Actually, the way this decision was formed was quite interesting journey itself as well. So it took a while. And there are several factors that contributed to this to come true. Actually, so the first one was a career shift. So I was doing corporate services, namely finance, for a long period of time. Then I had shifted to more focused on management information systems and implementation of those. So then found myself that I don't have any degree qualification as this field, and I decided to get one. And on the other hand, I am very passionate about outdoors and spending time in the beautiful nature. And New Zealand is very famous for having one of the best these experiences in the world. And the third factor, which is also very important, I guess, is language. English is more common to me. So when I chosen the country, it was between those which speak English. It's more common because to have academic level, so it's important to do like masters. So, and actually budget is also a consideration. So because of currency fluctuation and currency exchange rate, New Zealand is kind of more affordable compared to other English-speaking countries. This one is also important, although a bit remote from the rest of the world. It pays off like by being more affordable somewhat compared to other English-speaking countries. So these factors all come together for me to decide on doing my master's here in New Zealand. So this is how this decision was developed.
Can I pause you there, and can I ask you something? How was your financial perspective there? So when you prepared for the journey, you need to have some kind of funds that have to be ready for your international study, right? What was your preparation for that?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that I prepared especially for this journey.
Okay.
I just I had a long-term career and more or less established life back home. So yeah, I used part of my savings to invest more. Yeah,
Investing in yourself.
Yeah, in my capabilities, probably. Yeah.
Awesome. That's good to hear. Can I start you and give your side of perspective, how you travel, how you come to a decision that you want to be an international student?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it has been a decade's work back in India, where I come from. And I started working at a very early age. So I was a teenager, I can say. The time I landed a job in a corporate. So I did not experience, the extensive, did not do my master's then. And after this, decade long of experience, there was this invisible, some glass over my head, and I wasn't just progressing any further. And I was not finding myself with the skills that I need, or I must be equipped with. So that is where this I think Japanese proverb, even in India we have this, that the frog in the well does not know the seas. So you eventually need to get out of the place you are in order to grow more, learn more about the things that are happening around. So that's where I felt the need to do my master's. And New Zealand, I think it just happened to me.
Okay.
I did not plan for New Zealand, but
was it your first choice? Was not New Zealand or some other country?
Well, I think the list goes very long.
Okay.
So because I am not that simple, I would say I always complicate things. So there were many options, but I think from Europe to Australia to New Zealand. But I think some things when left to destiny or to your fate, that happens to you. So and New Zealand happened to me, and it is amazing actually, because I know this difference of being part of a bigger crowd, a huge crowd, and then entering a smaller world, people with environment with less people, and so it has a very different essence. So coming from India, a very the buzzing streets, the busy life, here it's very nice, a slow-paced life is really enjoyable. So that's where New Zealand happened to me. I did my research. I wanted to pursue on what subjects I would want to learn, and where do I need to upskill myself with. And that's how I shortlisted a couple of universities. And I think the intake was a critical part, that when do I get into the country. Because I think YouTube is one channel that gives you so much information.
I agree.
It gets difficult that, which intake do you choose? But I think I just took the one that was earliest.
Okay.
And that was one factor. And of course, the finances, like compared to other countries, New Zealand is on very, more on a comfort side. Like, it gives you that, I think, flexibility to, choose your options.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how about whether you had the savings or you had to apply for a loan? How was the financial perspective?
Yes, I think I had my savings to support my living and study here. And I think part-time job is something I'm really keen to depend on to make of some of the savings that I needed for the future.
So the additional savings that you're gonna have, okay.
Absolutely.
So the loan, so for the fees part, did you apply for any loan or how was it?
No, I used my savings.
That's good. That's good to know. Ash, how about you?
Okay. I wasn't as independent as them doing research about what I'm doing and where I'm going to study and what course I will be taking. So I was very comfortable back in India. And then suddenly my father gave me a decision, okay, you need to go to abroad. And then at that time, I was actually 19 when I actually started working. I started working as a personality development trainer in British Council, and I started enjoying it because I was very passionate about it. And I've seen my mom, how she used to teach, and I admire a lot of tutors, who've been my teachers. So I was very comfortable, spent 2 years, and then another year I was 22. So at that time, my family, I had contacted my cousin brothers here. We've got families here. And then they said, okay, it's quite safe. We are happy to have her. So let's get her here. And like, okay, what I'm going to study there? I'm very comfortable there. And then like, what do you want to do? I said, in future, I really want to have my own educational institute where I can educate myself every day and educate or uplift those who are around me. So that was my main goal in life. So they said, okay, this agent was family friend to my family. And then, okay, let's get her into business, right? But when I came to New Zealand, I realized that a lot of people come do level 7 in business. And then I was very positive about it.
That was quite long back, right? It was 2016.
2018.
2018. So, oh yeah, but that time the post-study work visa was not available. I believe that
I got 3 years.
You got
Yeah, I was lucky one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, after 2 years, when I was in middle of my post-study visa, then they don't have it anymore.
Okay.
Yes. So then I came to New Zealand. I studied. I finished my course, and then my journey actually started towards job hunting.
Okay, so how about your financial perspective? Was it you having
I had education loan.
Okay.
And I was earning, but I was actually paying my rent back in Chandigarh when I was doing my job. I stopped taking pocket money from my family. So that's how I was managing my own life there. However, my dad has some savings. And then I told him not to use those savings if I can get education loan. And I wanted to give it a try independently and he took education loan for me. That's how we saved or arranged funds for that.
All right. So I was also having education loan because I didn't have much savings, if you ask me. So I was like really spending money. I didn't had any aim that I have to save some money. Yeah. So aim. I was being rejected for New Zealand visa first time. So international student visa has been rejected for first time. So what happened there, I didn't submit my documents correctly. I was not sure about that. Later on, after my research, I came to know there is a website that shows you details which kind of documents you require and all those things. And immigration was also really helpful. When I contacted them, they told me, you're missing these documents, resubmit it, and it's fine. So after that, I have to reapply, and it was fine. Yeah.
You submitted your own visa?
Yeah, I submitted my own visa. Yeah, at that time. So still, like only once, I believe, once or twice, I believe I've used immigration advisor.
Okay.
Even in New Zealand. It was for my first work visa and second VOC, which when I was switching my job. Okay. Afterwards, my residency and other work permits and everything, I applied myself. Because we have in New Zealand, we have ops manual. You guys have heard about that? So that's so operations manual is something that's actually you can refer to apply visa. So that's the exact same the immigration officers as well using. So that defines what kind of documents you're required to submit. And if you submit as it is, there is no questions asked. So if you submit the right documents, not anything faulty. So yeah, and that was my journey here.
One tip for spending less for that is doing part of the study maybe from home, online. Some programs allow for that, not all of them.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so this we inherited from COVID times when most of the institutions, they provided online education. Now, again, most of them do not anymore, but some of them still do some parts of the programs online. So those interested to apply to start an education here, and maybe as part of as one of the benefits of doing it from home is a saving as well.
Yeah,
so some programs allow to do it from home.
Yeah.
Part of that. So my journey was so I do level 9 masters. So it requires 1.5 years of studies, and my journey was doing first half year from home.
Okay.
And then coming for another year of on-campus study here. So that's helped a lot time-wise, because I could jump in very quickly. When I just decided it, I didn't need to deal with all of the visa issues, all the funding issues, whatever. I just started. So once I was accepted by the institution, I started to learn to get my education, and alongside dealing with all of those like financial documents, visa, and which take like 3 or 4 months. By that time I sorted it out, I already did like half year of my education, and only came up here for the rest 1 year. So this is the
That's a huge saving.
Yeah, it is saving time wise,
And money wise as well.
and money wise, very wisely as well. So, and I was continuing to work back home, so without any restrictions. And another interesting aspect here is time difference. Because of this big time difference, my studies happened very early in the morning, like 3 a.m. to 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. I was done, so and the rest of the day was still available for me to work or to be with my family or whatever. So it was, because of time difference, it even didn't disrupt the normal way of life there.
Oh, that's interesting.
But I earned like a half year of...
But that will still give you a chance to come to the place once you completed the study. Rest of the the job opportunities that you can apply, you can travel to the country where you are. I mean, like here at this situation, you can come to New Zealand and look for jobs as well.
Exactly, it should be, because the condition for level 9 graduates is you have to study at least 10 months here in the country. So this condition is met. If you are studying like 6 months, not more of that. So if you do like 9 months from home, probably your visa condition would be different. If you do 6 months from home and the rest 1 year here, so visa condition is not different. So you still have the same.
That's an interesting perspective. That's a good way to save money as well.
And save money as well, and start earlier and jump in earlier.
And it does require some really good discipline and dedication, I believe, because most of the individuals who plan for studying abroad, they just want to leave the country and get somewhere. They want to change the environment. That is the prime inspiration or motivation that they have. But I think this particular idea of yours, the path that you have shared, it is does require a lot of discipline and dedication.
But that's definitely interesting as well. You are saving money wise.
Absolutely.
You are getting good food, home food. You don't have to worry about it. And
I wish we could do that too.
I think there are, but there are institutions, but we couldn't do at that time. We couldn't.
At that time,
I think before COVID, there was no option like that, right? After COVID, the whole spectrum got changed. More remote works, no remote studies, which is a good thing, which is a really good thing. That's amazing to hear. So as we mentioned, how was after? Okay, so that was your perspective to 6 months, right? When to come to New Zealand, how is your part-time job hunt going on?
I arrived recently, so since April, and it's my only second block here. So first block, I really I need some time to adopt to on-campus education. That took a lot. So I was studying full time. Actually, studies and self-studies, and on the weekends traveling around the country. It took all of the time, so I couldn't actually apply. And this block is newly started, so I'm starting to think about that, building up my employability skills, preparing my professional profile, looking around what kind of vacancies are available, what kind of opportunities are available, and like building up my mind of what I can do on this market.
All right.
So yeah, I'm getting
Still building on that process. You're in the process of it.
Yeah, preparing myself for this market.
All right. How was your experience?
Oh, that was very exciting actually, because when we started looking for jobs, we knew that for sure that if we apply jobs, the emails we are getting is like, your application is unsuccessful, and it actually happened because we didn't know that we don't apply same CV for all the. We were new into C. We all use C. And then what we did is like, we were in a group. The reason why it was exciting, we all were in a group, all my friends. So we photocopied the CVs, and then we went different places, including Countdown, and there was the Elliott Street. And that's where I got it first.
Oh, okay.
It was a food truck.
Okay.
My first job was at food truck. So it was a takeaway. Never knew cooking. Never been in kitchen.
It's your kids.
I'm like, how I'm gonna do it? I'm like, okay, you have to pay a lot of money back home.
Yeah.
So yeah, I spoke to the owners, Amit and Aman, like really like brothers to me now. So they were the people who gave me that job. So 20 hours I started working on a takeaway. Very interesting actually. I started, and I used to have all my college friends coming there. So that's first job.
So that was on those times, right? 2018.
18.
So you were physically handing over resumes to shops.
Yes.
It doesn't like how was your experience on applying online? So right now, for our people like our friends,
Yes.
what from your understanding, what should they be doing?
The first thing you need to do, you need to make sure that you make a lot of contacts. You are social, you talk to people, you try to know them, and the field they're working. And we shouldn't be limited to one sector, one field, because obviously it's a completely new environment.
Yep.
People need to trust you to give you jobs.
Yep.
So of course, start like adjusting the CVs as per the requirement they have written for the job description.
Yep.
And then obviously we do adjustments, then we apply for CV, then we do get response.
Right.
My students right now, they are getting response because we have workshops running.
So is it changed the perspective of giving hard resumes to digital resumes? Like, for example, applying online. So my days, like from our days, I was pretty sure it's easy to get a job if you have physical CV handing over to any shop.
Yeah.
I think it still works if you are interested in working on any industry like shops or like easy to get a job. If you want to have easy to get one like part-time job, I still recommend to hand over CVs, physical CVs.
I hate to say, ask me about it because today, before coming to
Okay.
this podcast, I literally handed over my resume at a store.
There you go.
Actually, you see on the store that they write that that position required.
Yes.
Please hand over your CV, and I've still seen that on a lot of stores. So it still works.
Yeah.
But process is difficult on Seek and Jora.
Yeah.
Apply jobs, even trade me.
Yeah. Because of the ATS and all. Yeah.
Yes, now a lot of people, and so many positions they took off.
Initially, even like I started with shortlisting jobs that I want to do, that I had in mind. I did have scope for trying out something new because it is a learning experience. Because putting yourself into that situation or in a new role teaches you a lot, right? So, but when the desperation kicks in, when you lose time, you know that you have already spent a month or 2 months here in the country and you're not without a job. When that desperation kicks in, I think that is when most of us end up applying for everything and anything that's available online.
Yeah.
But I think that's the harsh truth of it, I would say. I think I personally believe that online particularly, when you keep searching for a job, there are so many options.
Yeah.
It's like all of New Zealand needs people.
Yeah.
And why am I not the one?
Yeah.
And so that keeps me in a confused situation all the time. And then I started applying for the specific roles that I wanted to do. And I think a discipline was required that, I prepare respective cover letters for each, and then apply for, like we discussed earlier, that we drop in our CVs in the stores. So you apply online and also go to the store, say them that I have applied online, but I want to show my dedication that I'm serious about this. So please, consider my
I
resume,
agree.
CV.
I think definitely that values or that gives more preference for you.
Right.
That's a good way of approach as well.
Yeah.
But that requires quite a time, yeah? So how could you manage that? You use your holiday?
That's a good question.
Study break?
I think usually these are between the breaks during the day. Like when there's a break from the session, you have a lunch break, because studying in the city, it gives that advantage that you can utilize that time to go to nearby stores, see where there is available, opportunity, and just have that quick conversation. Because I think even the people are busy there, so a 5 minutes discussion with them is good enough. So you don't really have to take a special time, I would say. Yeah, at places which are far from the city or your day-to-day commute, you would have to plan. But usually it is, in your day. It's an errand in your day that should do.
Do you feel like more feedback when you meet people personally rather than you just apply online? Because before I was planning to come to New Zealand, I also watched some video blogs on that. And some bloggers, they were advising that New Zealand is more about like going door to door and applying for jobs like that. Although there's a huge online job market here, but how do you perceive this culture? Is it really more responsive when you go and see them personally?
Honestly, I've been on the trying end. Like I haven't seen some results as of yet, so I wouldn't be able to comment.
I think we can comment on that specifically, Harsh and I. But yeah, continue.
Yeah. So that's why. So I'm looking. I know that you get that impression from the person you talk to at store, at least a hint or a vibe that yes, I think you can expect something positive here when you walk into the store and have a one-to-one discussion. Because I have been in situations where I have met people in the metro, and I have been just, I think they were sitting beside me, so I overheard their call stating that I need someone to do this, I need someone to do that. And I stepped in and say that, okay, I'm a student and I'm looking for something part-time and this is something I can do. And she really appreciated that attempt, and we did exchange email address and I sent her my resume. Unfortunately, it did not turn to be positive, but at least it gave me a direction and a path, to start with.
Yeah, yes, there is nothing wrong in trying whenever there is an opportunity. But about that perspective you asked, it's New Zealand is all about people.
Yes, that's true.
The people who you know and the right people you know for the right time.
Reference matters a lot in New Zealand, I would say.
Yeah. And how you can make that reference? Go for meetups. There are like always meetups in whatever industry you are in. That's the best thing that you can do, and do volunteer works. Volunteer works, now you feel like you're working for them for free, but actually you're building relationship there. So you don't see the value there. I've seen so many people volunteering for so many companies. Later on they moved into a job role over there. So volunteering is very important, as well as attending meetups, events.
That turned out to be positive for me, because in my previous break after the first blog, I did a volunteer work for an immigration company, and it was just 6 weeks. I think the time flew like anything, like it was like just over. But the network or the relationship I was able to get, from the team, it was so amazing that I'm still a part of them after the internship. They do, text me, message me that hey, we miss you. It was a great time we had it together here. And they try and, get me into any events that they are conducting. So I think doing volunteer work is very beneficial, because one of the challenges you face here when, working a part-time or something, the culture.
Yeah.
Because we naturally carry our own culture within. And that comes out so naturally when we are among people. However, when it's in a new environment, you have to be mindful of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because, the joke might go wrong. In simple.
That's very true. So our joke, we won't be their joke. Their joke, we won't be able to understand. It's a joke, but
So
it's
as
a
simple
fun.
as that, you get to learn that.
Yeah.
Because if you're looking for making a career here, establishing yourself here, I think that's a good spot to start with. Yeah.
I would like to add another positive point about volunteering is feel of belonging to something.
Yes.
Because for international students, especially for newcomers here to the country, as I am, as we are, some of us, so you feel kind of alone for the first period of your adaptation, and then these voluntary activities, like it might be not that like that with one-time meetups, but when you do get along with people for a longer period for some voluntary job, this like feeling of belonging to something, it also supports a lot, like mentally.
Yes, that's very true. What kind of platforms or what kind of pathways you guys have in mind to apply for jobs, or which is already available? Not just for, we can also chip in or whenever there is an option. So for example, you can try applying for Seek, right? Seek is one website which have like thousands of job available that you can apply, whatever your preference. LinkedIn is one best way I would recommend as well. Reason for it, so you see a job, right? Let's say you see a job advertisement on Seek, you get the hiring manager's name there, and search her or him, and you'll be able to see all what kind of platform they are in, what kind of role she is in, what kind of technology she is interested, he or he interested in. Then you can just simply flip a message to her or him and saying, look, I have applied for this role. I'm very keen to know more about this role. Can we have a meeting or can we have a call? Can you guide me or can you help us to know more about this role? That's one best approach I would recommend. And that's very effective.
You talk to like person directly. If you go through the CV, email and all, it becomes formal, and they might not reply because they are not in that situation to hire. However, when you message on LinkedIn, they actually
with your CV, you might be not even like received to her end, because when you apply through online, there is a ATS system that looks for every keywords or requirement. So when you approach to people like directly, that gives somewhat upper hand for you guys. So that's one best way to do.
I think there's always a benefit doing that, because I remember doing that for one of the roles here. So I'm into business analytics. So there was this full-time role with the company for business analytics. However, I think it was on contract or a temporary something. So that is where I thought, why don't I pitch myself to them as a part-time, because it will be a win for them that they can get more in less, right? And I can get a more relevant and good experience working on it. So I did this approach of, applying through LinkedIn, and then I messaged the person. I did a good pitch that, showing the benefits. Why do they need to hire me? So unfortunately, it did not turn out to be positive, but it was a learning curve. Right? Because I have never done that. That approach of pitching yourself to someone, it is in itself, I have something more to take away. After that interaction or after that approach.
That's true.
That's interesting point you touched upon on part and full-time jobs. There is another consideration here in my mind that I would like to share. Actually, as you also mentioned, while we are students, we are like limited to work 20 hours a week, and only full-time deal with the breaks. And the most tempting jobs listed either on Seek or LinkedIn or however advertised, they require like full-time. So, and most of part-time jobs, they are focused on customer service or some interim jobs or some like support jobs. This is also like a limiting factors for students working, studying, especially on level 9, when you are required like to have at least like 5 years of experience and proper background to apply for that. You apply for that, you study for that, and part-time job opportunities, I would say, are quite limited for applicability of those are quite limited in terms of background match of these international students. So this is kind of challenge. And it looks like one of the strategies can be wait for ability to enroll full-time to apply for those jobs. Because if we just apply now for the jobs, we should require full-time, and they do any kind of get back to us on that. And it appears that you cannot deliver a full-time job in a longer term now. So,
can you do full-time job as you're doing level 9?
And I am only able to do that during study breaks. Otherwise after graduation. So that also limits options. So there are some. I guess you mentioned those about visa condition change applications. So you can go through that process if you are okay, school is okay, and your employer is okay. But we know that not every employer would be happy with that kind of complexity. So it would be nice if students or those who aim to finish soon could be able to apply for this condition change or prepare themselves legally to work full-time before they apply for jobs without intervention of job of those who hire.
If you're right, if the employer is happy to do that, yes, there are options like VOC you can put in, but there is a big challenge there because they have to prove they cannot hire someone from outside or on the New Zealand, and it's basically the same way of doing a work visa, I believe. But I don't know, more details can be found on immigration website.
But they might be a good match, but just formalities are obstacles. To pay.
That's true. It's better to hire at that time immigration advisor. Cool. And when you come to New Zealand, so many like memorable moments that you had, right? So maybe you can share some surprising, funny stories that you can.
Something was very strange to me.
Okay.
2 things.
Okay.
So I came out of a completely different life where I had my social circle, my friends, my family, my cousins. Used to spend a lot of time with them. We used to be out 1 a.m., 2 a.m., come home. I came to New Zealand at 5 o'clock, everything closed. I'm like,
it's a culture shock.
It's a big culture shock.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is this? Second, I learned driving in India. I drove there for like a couple of years. Came here, the completely different driving. No drawing on the roads.
Oh yeah.
Over here, too much drawing on roads. That's another thing that's like, oh my god, where am I?
How did you convert your driving license here? Did you?
I actually drove 6 months on my Indian license.
Yep.
Yeah, then converted.
Converted.
My driving test passed 1 go, but I was very nervous. All I was doing is like looking in the mirror because my friends gave me this instruction and please drive it with 2 hands because in India we drive, one on the gear and 2 feet. It was so difficult for me to drive just with 1. So that was that was something like, oh god.
That's actually it's a culture shock for everyone.
Definitely, I think I can relate a lot to the early closures in the evening. I'm so used to having the walks after dinner. So we as a family, after we have dinner together, we just go out for a walk every day. So that's a part of our routine. And here, after having dinner, when you look outside, it's so cold, it's so windy, or it's raining most of the times, and it's so I would say desert and
The areas are very deserted.
it gets scary sometimes. Okay, do I really want to go out? No, I think I better be in my bed. So yeah, that is one of the toughest thing to adapt here. And I think the other part was I get confused about people, like, because people here are so friendly. Like they are like, they talk to you openly about anything and everything, but they are like reserved at the same time. They have their boundaries or limitations that I don't want to talk about, apart from this. So you get confused how to carry your conversation ahead with them. So that is one of the toughest things, like, or the cultural shock that I've had here.
Interesting.
And the Kiwi accent too. I
Oh,
became such a good listener because I have to pay attention.
that's
what are you saying?
that's most adorable, most lovable slang, style
Now
that you
it
can.
is.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
it is. Because we started understanding.
Yeah, now started understanding,
Yes.
but that's
Yeah.
interesting. How about you?
Cultural shock wise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I was thinking about that. You guys mentioned most of those. So in terms of unexpected stuff, there is not much, because all of those, like, shops being closed early, like Kiwis having special accent,
Yeah.
and this kind of stuff were actually advertised in the vibes. But when you come here, you still like need to adapt to that.
Yeah.
Even if it's not surprise, you still need to adapt to that.
Yeah.
But one thing which is was like a shock, although I had information about that from like media, is how actually people friendly are. Because in my part of the world, you need to deserve someone's friendliness before you get friendly to each other. This is just the way culture is. But here people are just so friendly from the very first sight. And it amazes me, like I'm here for several months already, and it still amazes me.
Yeah.
And it's very, very, very positive thing about this community and this country that worth to emphasize. So this thing plays out the weather, I don't know, they close to the shops to close very early, and maybe other smaller drawbacks. As for me, that paid off by far with this like aspect of community and quality of communication with them. Yeah.
Interesting. How was your house hunt in New Zealand? Where happened? So initial days as an international student, we all share flats, right?
Yes, we do.
We all share flats, and some people, like rich people, they own their own homes. But I'm saying, like, so there is a bit hard time to find and the right
place, right
place to
people.
stay, right people to stay. How was that experience for you?
When I came here, fortunately, my cousin, sister, and the brother, they picked me up, stayed there for 1 week. In India, I had my different apartment I was staying after hostels. Hostel part is when schooling, but college I had different. So I was really habitual having my own space.
Yeah.
Very difficult for me. And then, you're sharing and you have this some percentage of OCD. Like, why this is here? Why? And I used to never share bed with someone. For 6 months, I had to share my bed with another girl. And
That's initial days.
of course, and then like I do the blankets in a different way, she do it in a different way, my pillows needs to be this way, and she put it different, and then every time I have to take an initiative to do it, and then she became habitual of not doing it at all. And then it was very, very hard. 6 months, big struggle, frustration, very much. I was so frustrated with it. And kitchen, always like finish the food, leave the dishes. Why I have to wash it? So there's little things, which adds up to frustration, and then goes to work. It's still in your mind, because the moment I see the mess, it just messes up my mind.
I think this is more for girl stuff. Like, we don't really care about these kind of things, do you?
Yeah, thank you.
And the funny thing, whoever you talk to about their flat is, most of them complain the same. Like, my flat is not clean and tidy enough, whatever. And I'm just wondering who are those unclean tidies, because whoever you talk
Oh, they're talking about us, eh?
Now we are talking. I love it.
No, but like,
So who are those? Because whoever you ask, they are all complaining about untidy flats, whatever. But I have that issue as well. Now, I don't experience now, but I'm very cautious about that. So I'm actually staying with the doorway. I'm staying alone, so I don't share with anyone because this is a big thing to do. So I need to focus on my plans and my career changes and my studies, whatever. I just decided I don't have time for that. So I just
I think that's a wise decision that you made.
I'm staying as a paying guest. So I found a good family through Facebook who had a room to, rent out. And I did the dishes diligently, since day one. I also tried to earn their, trust by doing some of their chores so that, make them feel like, we are a part of family and, that makes the journey smoother. However, I think gradually when it comes to routine, I think there's this fear of dependency on each other that comes up, that restricts you to draw a line between staying with the family and so I think it went pretty smooth for me. I think provided that I've been doing my part diligently.
For me it was a bit different. So initially I decided to, like, when I come to New Zealand for two months, I was actually renting out a single room. I was around $250 at that time. I was quite happy. If you ask me, I was happy too much. Maybe that's why I changed my decision to share a flat with someone to save some money. So I feel like that was one of the worst decisions I made because at that time was a really small room and we were 3 people there. I didn't realize that was a stupid thing to do. Because of the friendship, we never thought that's a hard partnership. So that was one of the funny stuff I had, like, that's because on the friendship we thought like it's fine, it's okay. But about the chores as well, we had like timetables every day because of 6 people. Every day one person is doing it. Some person like deliberately take this as like a like an enemy. They just make a crap out of it, and I like a revenge, that was the pain. But those are like good times. We can still remember those days, and those were like really hard times. And I have switched around 13 apartments, if you ask me.
Oh,
13.
wow.
In 3 years, 2 years of time, 2 years of time, 30, because at that time it was really hard. I didn't have the guts to get a flat by my own and rent it out, but I believe that's the best choice now. If you are feeling like you want to have your own room, I would recommend get a 3-bedroom home and rent it out, the rest of the 2 bedrooms. You'll be still saving money on that. You'll have your own space to live as well. So I didn't know that, but the experience slowly started.
How do you guys suggest, because we being students at a uni, we have fellow mates, right? And we often discuss about these complaints at our stays. And that is where this idea of staying together. Why don't we all get together and share a place?
You can do.
So, okay.
That's the best thing you can do, because if you vibe like that, you get the right people, right? You're feeling like if someone, I'm going to Ilgar and Ilgar, why don't we take a room? Ilgar agrees to that, which means he understands my vibe and I understand his vibe.
Correct.
So you guys are like indirect, subconsciously coming to an agreement, we will be fine. But still, there will be some problems on the back end. That's always there. So I would always recommend make everything into a paper. When I say that, when you, let's say we 4 people are hiring an apartment, 4 of the names should be on the agreement.
Yeah.
Right. Not one person's name, and not one person taking whole responsibility. And the deposit that you're going to pay have to be shared equally. So everyone knows if someone wants to leave, everyone have to leave, right? Because they are breaching the contract or some kind of change happening. Everyone should agree to that before signing the contract. So that's something you have to discuss. And let's say, or another thing I would say is, if let's say I'm renting out a home, and I want to rent out my 2 rooms, right?
Yeah.
So that's also a good option, I would say. But make sure you have tenant agreements with them,
Right.
right? Because you have to have the tenant agreements. Maybe they stay there for 6 months that they won't pay you, right? You can't push them out. Only thing what you can do, you have to approach the legality of that. And if you don't have any documents, what's the whole point? So make everything into paper. That's what I would say.
So it's good to be a friend and a good, be the good person, but at the same time, make sure it's safe enough. And
Yeah, if it money involved,
okay,
make sure, because
It's clear.
everyone is here to make money, right? Everyone is here to make money, and everyone have their own problems they are facing. So better everything goes onto a paper, signed and agreed with. That's it.
fair enough.
If you got an opportunity to start again as an international student, what are the 5 plannings that you're gonna do?
So the first one is need to be very, very patient. Like if I have to change something, if I get a chance, no, I don't want to because I learned from it and I became who I am today, experiencing all that. Need to be very, very patient. Jobs, it doesn't matter how hard times we are faced, how hard the times that we are facing. We just need to make sure that we need to be patient. We don't get jobs overnight. We can't make contacts overnight. It's everyday hustle. Every day is different, even if it's at work.
The one advice I would give for newcomers is definitely enjoy. So don't push yourself. Do enjoy it, because all of the things like settling in, like working, the job, the housing, other logistical stuff, they would be sorted out sooner or later. So there is no chance to get it wrong if you are on the right path. So the most important now is how you enjoy it. So if you guys come here to do your international learning, so it's already a big journey to do.
Yeah.
So since you started it, you better enjoy it.
Yeah.
So this is, I guess, the most important. All the rest will come along.
Good one, man. Good
I
one.
remember.
That's a good advice.
Okay, I remember. So the second thing is actually what we all do being international students. We think that, okay, it's not happening. I'm done. Losing hope at the time. But we don't realize New Zealand is one of those countries. It gives you so much. It offers you so much. There's always a solution. You always get there. You always get something. And that something takes you somewhere for sure. So you have to be very hopeful in New Zealand. I think I lost hope when I was actually emotionally, feeling about my family. So I actually wanted to, at the first question I asked my dad when I called him, Papa, do you have enough money if I end up not paying this loan and I just go back to what I was doing in New Zealand? That was the question I asked then. That was actually when they sort of worried about me. But then I didn't realize within like 6 days, not even a complete week, I actually applied for a job. The manager for that organization, I actually get to see the manager. So you see the things will actually fall into place. Life will unfold. It's so fortunate. New Zealand, I don't know, I feel it's very fortunate to be in New Zealand for some reason. I don't have a fact about it, but I feel it.
Okay, can I say that? Believe in yourself.
Please believe in yourself. And do not think that there's no hope or there's nothing. There's so much that New Zealand can offer. And you have to get over competitions and comparisons because every one of us is born with a unique talent, and our talent needs to be to recognize and acknowledge what we have in ourselves. So that actually gives you everything you want. What I've heard.
What about you?
One interesting perspective that I was thinking of was whenever you move international, to a different country, you often get advice from experienced people. They always, guide you to or ask you to look out for this, look out for that. Okay, that is their experience that I was talking. So I would recommend it is good to listen to people, good to understand the experience. However, not to have a presumption or some kind of thought already before you experience it yourself. Keep yourself open is what I would say. Like, because when you are moving to a new country, the whole world is changing. You can't carry the same mindset or limit your thought process to in the box. You have to be open. Be open to say anything. Be open to try new things. I think then that's one thing that
I would say, don't give or loan money to anyone.
Yes, please don't. It's never coming back.
So that's how I'm gonna compare. So because you're here, you're trying, like, in emergency situation, they have emergency fund, which is FTS. Government is already thought about those kind of scenarios. So if someone is asking money for you, obviously that's gonna be some over expense that they're making.
Yeah.
So
okay.
that's one thing I would say. So save money, enjoy your time. There's one more we can chip in. There is 5-8 quiet.
I guess fifth one might be don't mess it up.
Oh,
Because
yes, please.
If you come for studies,
Yeah.
Yes, don't.
just keep
study.
that in mind. Just
Yeah.
keep that in mind.
That's
Don't
true.
mess it up.
That's true.
So do enjoy, do party, do work, do travel,
Yeah.
do whatever you do, but don't mess it up.
Yeah, I want to add one thing to that. Don't compromise on jobs and salary. When I say that, when you search for jobs, there will be so many opportunities to do shortcuts. So let's say, I'll give you an example. There are people around. There are some bad people trying to exploit the students. Not just students, anyone. So they might offer you some low range salary, like $10, $15, which is minimum. I think it's now $22. So don't compromise. Believe in yourself. Go
Yeah.
for it. So I think that's the best thing that you said. The whole phase in one word. If you want to say that your experience, what it's gonna be?
Transitioning.
Transitioning.
I see charismatic husband.
What is your experience looks like?
Excitement.
There you go. It's excitement. So
That's one.
I will chip in is fabulous. So
Yes.
the whole experience is very fabulous. You got ups, you got downs, everything is fabulous.
Yeah.
All right. Sure. I think it was really good having conversation with you all. Thank you for your time. Hopefully our viewers have some understanding about international students, our struggles, our we are starting from nothing. Everyone in this being an international student moving to a country, they are starting from the scratch because that is what we are. And all the best for you guys. And we'll keep in touch. We'll have a good time. Signing off from the Nlsa podcast. Thank you very much. Remember, studying abroad isn't just about academics. It's all about your personal growth, cultural exchange, creating a life full of unforgettable experience. So don't let your fear to hold you back. Take the plunge, embrace the challenges, and let your adventure begin. If you found these stories helpful, like and share this episode with someone who's chasing their international education dreams. Subscribe now, hit that notification bell, and join our community for more real talk. Thanks for joining us on Nlsa Podcast. Until next time, signing off, this is your host, Anuvindh.